Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, the Week 6 AP Top 25 poll in college football is out, and I have my Only Talk Sports poll out as well. And let's see which poll you guys think is better, even though, again, both polls, in my opinion, are flawed because all polls are flawed. Now, in my Only Talk Sports Top 25 poll, finally, Alabama is number one, and the AP poll has a number one now as well. Last week they were number two, but the win at Arkansas was really impressive, and now Alabama finally leapfrogs Georgia again to reclaim the number one spot. Georgia is number two in my top 25 poll, and last week they were number one, and the AP poll has a number two as well, and they won at Missouri, but it wasn't really impressive. They didn't play too well. They did get a win, and a win is a win, but Alabama's win was more impressive than Georgia's. I have Ohio State number 3. Last week they were number 3 as well, and the AP poll has a number 3 too, and they beat Rutgers, and they blew them out. Some people would probably say, why didn't they leapfrog Georgia? But again, I just don't think that they're ready to leapfrog them yet, but 3 is a good spot for Ohio State. Number 4, I have Clemson. Last week they were number 4. The AP has a number 5. They still disagree, but again, they beat NC State. Clemson's looking very impressive again, and I think that they should be a little bit higher than our next team, number 5, Michigan. I had them 5th last week as well, but the AP has a number 4. And the win at Iowa was good, but again, Clemson I think has just done a little bit more than Michigan has so far, and I still have Michigan at 5 and Clemson at 4. Tennessee is number 6. They were 6th last week in my poll. The AP has them 8th. And they had a bye, but I think Tennessee's been very impressive to start this season, and I'm going to leave them at number 6 until they prove otherwise. USC's at number 7. Last week they were number 7. The AP has a number 6, and I think USC's been good. They did beat Arizona State, but Arizona State's in shambles, and USC is looking really good, but I don't think they're better than Tennessee at this point yet. Oklahoma State's number 8. Last week I had them 9th, but the AP poll has a number 7, and they won at Baylor, and that was a really impressive win. And I almost had them leapfrog USC, but I'm not going to drop USC for doing what they did against Arizona State, so I have Oklahoma State at number 8, definitely with a chance to move up even further. Ole Miss is up to number 9. Last week I had the number 15. The AP poll is a number 9 as well, but that win over Kentucky was very impressive, and I had them jump a lot of teams because a lot of teams lost, and now Ole Miss is my number 9 team. Penn State is number 10. Last week they were number 10 as well, and the AP has a number 10. And they beat Northwestern. I would have jumped them to 9th, but I felt Ole Miss did a lot better than Penn State, so I moved Ole Miss above Penn State and left Penn State at number 10. Utah's at 11. Last week they were number 12, and the AP poll has them 11 as well. And they beat Oregon State. Very impressive win over the Beavers. Utah's looking really good. Kentucky dropped to number 12. I had them 8th last week, and the AP poll has a number 13 with the loss at Ole Miss. The reason why I didn't drop them all the way to 13th is because I felt that the loss was really, they should have won, and the loss was very close, and I don't feel they should have dropped as far. Oregon I have at 13 still. The AP poll moving up to 12th, but again, Oregon I had 13th last week, and I couldn't move them up one. Kentucky, they shouldn't drop as far in my opinion. Oregon's playing well with the win over Stanford. It still wasn't as impressive as Kentucky's close loss to Ole Miss. NC State is number 14. Last week they were 11, and the AP poll is number 14. They lost at Clemson. That's not nothing to be ashamed of, but again, you have to drop some spots when you lose on the road, even to a top 5 team. Wake Forest is number 15. Last week I had the number 23, and the AP poll is in 15. They won at Florida State, and I wouldn't have moved them up as far, but so many teams lost, and they did play very impressively on the road against Florida State that I had to move them all the way up to number 15. TCU is number 16. Last week they were not ranked, and the AP poll was number 17, but they beat Oklahoma. They just beat them down, and I felt they needed to move up as far as they did because, again, even though Oklahoma was struggling really badly to start the season, TCU was very impressive in the win. Kansas, number 17. Last week I had them 25th. The AP poll had them 19th. And the win over Iowa State was good, and they're 5-0, and Kansas playing very good football. UCLA is number 18. Last week, I had them not ranked, and the AP poll is them 18. They beat Washington. That was a very impressive win. UCLA is looking very impressive to start the season. BYU is number 19 in my poll. Last week, they were 22nd. The AP poll has them up to 16th. The Utah State win was good, but I don't think BYU should be as high as some of the other teams I have ahead of them because, again, it's BYU already lost the game this season, and they are an independent, and they're a good team, but I just don't think they should be as high. Mississippi State is number 20. Last week I had them not ranked. The AP polls in 23rd, and they beat Texas A&M. They played very well against Texas A&M, and Mississippi State is looking very good, so that's why I moved them up as high as I did. Number 21 is Kansas State. Last week I had them number 24. The AP poll has them 20th, and the win over Texas Tech was very impressive, and Kansas State's looking very, very good to start the season as well. Like a lot of the teams in the top 25. Usually you're a good team if you're ranked anyway. Number 22 is Washington. Last week I had them 14th. The AP poll is in 21st. The loss at UCLA, that was not a bad loss, but they probably, if Washington was as good as I had them ranked last week at 14th, they would have beaten UCLA. But Washington obviously is maybe not as good as people thought. The Michigan State win is not looking as impressive as it was when they beat them, and Washington's still a good team, but I have them ranked 22nd. Arkansas is 23rd. Last week they were 17th in my poll. The AP has them not ranked. They lost to Alabama, and I know the AP has them all the way out, but I don't think losing to Alabama you should drop as far. Number 24 is Syracuse. Last week I had them not ranked. The AP poll is in 22nd. They beat Wagner, and Syracuse is looking really good, but I don't think they should be as high yet because they have to beat more good teams. But Syracuse is 24th in my poll, and Baylor is 25th. Last week they were 18th. The AP poll knocked them out, and they lost to Oklahoma State. I didn't drop them out because they did play well against a very, very good Oklahoma State team. And the other team votes in my poll, LSU, the AP poll still has them 25th. They won at Auburn, but Auburn's not playing too well, but that was a good win. So I have them just on the outside. Washington State, the AP poll has them in the others as well. They beat Cal, very good win for Washington State. And you got Cincinnati. The AP poll does have Cincinnati 24th. The win at Tulsa was good, but I don't think Cincinnati should be ranked right now, but they could move definitely back in the poll. Florida State, the AP poll has not ranked either. The loss to Wake Forest, they didn't play too well in that game. They did make the score a little bit more competitive at the end, but Wake Forest did take their foot off the gas. Minnesota is in the others. The AP agrees. Lost to Purdue. Minnesota, they were ranked, but again, that loss to Purdue was not very good, and they should have played better, but Mo Ibrahim was out, but Minnesota's in the others. Coastal Carolina is in the others. The AP agrees. They won against Georgia Southern. They're 5-0, and Coastal could definitely move into the poll if they keep winning. Maryland is in the others. The AP agrees. They have a win over Michigan State. Maryland's playing a lot better. If they continue to win, they will be ranked. And the last team I have in the other team votes is UNC, and AP Plasm as well with a win over Virginia Tech. UNC is playing very well, and if they keep playing better, especially on defense, they will win because they only have the loss to Notre Dame. So that is my only Talk Sports Top 25 versus the AP. Comment down below what you guys think about both polls and which one you guys thought had the better teams in there at the top or not. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below, and I will see you next time.